In 1883, the volcanic island of Krakatoa, modern-day Indonesia, exploded suddenly. And the eruption was one of the most deadliest and most destructive volcanic events in recorded history. In the years before the 1883 eruption, activity around the Krakatoa volcano was intense. But we're just getting started. Intense activity began in 1883, and steam venting began to occur regularly from Perbawadan, the northernmost of the island's three cones. Just then, the island had suddenly exploded with a force of 200 megatons. It was so powerful it obliterated almost the entire island. The force was also extremely powerful that it generated an unbelievably loud explosion. Any noise over 194 decibels isn't really a sound. It begins to become more of a shockwave from an explosion instead. In the case of Krakatoa though, it generated an estimated 310 decibels. Eruptions of ash reached an estimated altitude of 6 kilometers, 20,000 feet. And explosions could be heard in Batavia, Jakarta, 160 kilometers, or 100 miles away, rattling windows and doors. Dust fell 300 miles away. A party sent to the island on the 26th of May reported that the islands were covered with a fine white dust, with explosions coming from Perbawadan every 5 to 10 minutes. Although by this time, eruptions were calming down, some of the explosions were still extremely energetic, hurling pumice opposite the direction of the wind. A large crater about 3,000 feet, 900 meters in diameter formed, with a cavity which issued pumice of steam. The eruption soon quieted after the initial violence. Around June 16, there were loud explosions and a thick black cloud that covered the islands for 5 days. The eruption started gaining strength again on the June 19th. On the 24th of June, a prevailing east wind covered the cloud and 2 ash columns could be seen issuing from Krakatoa. It was also noticed that the summit cone of Perbawadan was gone. An extensive report of a few years later attributes it to have been blown away. But the seat of the eruption is believed to have been a new vent or vents that formed on that day between Perbawadan and Danan. The violence of the ongoing eruptions caused tides in the vicinity to be unusually high, and ships at anchor had to be moored with chains, and ships began to report large pumice masses to the west in the Indian Ocean. A third vent and later many more appeared. The force was so loud that sailors who were 64 kilometers away from the blast had their eardrums ruptured. But this noise was much louder than it may seem, because a pressure gauge located 161 kilometers away measured a sound of 180 decibels. It would have taken the sound almost 8 minutes to reach that far. Even if you were that far away, your eardrums would be ruptured, and it would knock the wind out of your lungs, and it would shatter glass windows. It's possible that you would die from this, but even if you didn't, you'd be guaranteed death for life. In real life, the volcanic blast was heard as far away as Perth, Australia, whose residents reported hearing what sounded like gunshots. It was also heard on the Indian Ocean island of Rodriguez. Their residents reported what they believed to be cannon fire. Luckily, the sound wave began to grow less and less audible to humans the farther it traveled, until the frequency became too low to be heard, even though the waves couldn't be heard by humans themselves. Past a certain range, our instruments detected that the waves generated from the blast circled around the entire planet 3.5 times. And I think that's it for this video, so thank you guys for watching this video. If you happen to be new to this channel, please consider subscribing. It helps this channel to grow. It also motivates me to create more videos like this for you guys. I can only imagine the pure chaos that must have happened throughout those few months. Like a 310 decibel explosion and it lasting for months. Wow. I can't imagine something like that. And I'd also like to apologize for the big gap in between this video and my latest one. It's almost a 2-month gap, jeez. Well, I'm trying to focus on my life for a bit. Not to mention, it's also really difficult to find the perfect video idea. It could be because of the change of content. I went from like random whatever content I could think of to commentaries. Anyways, I would like to apologize if I like repeated any sort of info but like reworded or something like that by accident. I hope you enjoyed my commentary, or at least something out of my commentary. Feel free to subscribe, as I mentioned earlier, and feel free to subscribe and maybe hit the like button, because it helps me get motivated and create more content for you guys. Even though I'm trying to focus on my life as well, I hope to make more content as well. So bye guys, hope you enjoyed this.